Hi, I'm Jay Nocton. I'm the program director of the Pediatric Fellowship Training Program here at the Medical College of Wisconsin and Children's Hospital. And I'm here with our faculty. We're going to spend a little bit of time telling you a little bit about ourselves and what we do here and what we think makes our program special. So we hope that this gives you a chance to get to know us a little bit better and helps you to learn a little bit more about our program. I'm going to start off. I've been here for 28 years. It's a long time. This is the only job I ever had. I came here out of fellowship and I've been here ever since. And it's because I've enjoyed it so much here. I've never felt the need to leave. I spend my time as a clinician educator. So I spend my time seeing patients. And when I'm not seeing patients, my focus has always been on education. I'm a former residency director. I was the residency director here for 11 years. And I've been the fellowship program director for the last 8 years. So in addition to directing the fellowship, I spend a lot of time coordinating electives for residents, medical student courses and the medical student electives when they rotate with us in rheumatology. I do a lot of direct teaching and mentoring. And then I also do some collaborative educational research and some clinical research, but that's a small amount of my time. Most of my time is on educational administration and direct teaching and direct patient care. I think what makes our program special is our faculty, and you're going to hear more about that in just a few minutes from everybody. But I think we have a tremendous mix of faculty, both I'm going to say experienced, I'm not going to say old, both experienced and young. We have faculty that have expertise in the whole gamut of academic and scholarly interests. So we have basic scientists, we have 2 PhDs in our section, we have clinical and translational scientists, we have people interested in QI, and we have those of us like me who have an interest in education. And I think that plus the fact that we're a relatively small to medium-sized section, we don't have a tremendous number of faculty, allows us to pay a lot of individualized attention to our fellows. We each spend a lot of time with our fellows. And regardless of our fellows' interests, because of the gamut of expertise and experience our faculty has, we can provide very close and individualized mentorship to each of our fellows and help them to progress through fellowship and be well prepared to enter academic careers in pediatric rheumatology. So that's all that I'm going to say. I'm going to pass it on to our faculty now, and we'll start with Dr. Fair. Danielle, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here and what you think makes the program special?
Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle Fair. I'm one of the newer pediatric rheumatologists on staff here, but I'm not new to being at Children's Wisconsin. I've been here for almost 8 years now. I'm originally from Wisconsin, and so that brought me back to Children's for both my pediatric residency training and then for fellowship training. And after fellowship was over, I was more than excited to join the faculty here at Children's Wisconsin. As a part of what I do here is I am also a clinician educator like Dr. Nocton. And then on top of that, I help him out with the fellowship program as the associate fellowship program director. And then I've also recently taken over our clinical director role for our clinic as well. So I've been here since 2014 when I started residency. And in that time, my main focus when I was in fellowship was about mental health in our juvenile idiopathic arthritis patients. That is one area that I'm interested in for not just our arthritis patients, but for all of our rheumatology patients, is how their disease impacts their mental health. I'm also very interested in medical education. I've taken over our board review course that I work with the fellows with on a weekly basis. And then I'm also very involved with teaching as well, and spend most of my time in the clinics doing direct patient care, but also some community outreach. I recently took over the medical director role for our week-long summer camp called Camp MASH that we have for our patients. I think that part of what makes our program great or unique is that everyone here just kind of feels like family. We're all we know each other not only from a professional standpoint, but also from a personal standpoint. And I think that helps in terms of we're always there for each other. We're always willing to step up and help each other out if needed. We're always willing to lend a listening ear and help out on difficult cases. And so we work very collaboratively together. You never feel like you're alone when you're working with this group, which was something very important to me coming out of fellowship and just getting a start on my own, is that I knew I had everyone here that had my back and was willing to help me out, even as a new attending.
Thanks, Danielle. We'll move on to Dr. Sabag. Sarah, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Sabag. I joined our group in April 2020. And as you can imagine, that was a very difficult time to start a new job. And from the get-go, I really felt supported by our group, despite the difficulties of the early pandemic. I spend most of my time in basic research of juvenile dermatomyositis, and following my fellowship at the NIH and Children's National, I actually received some extra training in the assessments of JDM at the NIH. And so I really ran with that and wanted to do a lot more basic science research as well as more clinical work in JDM. And so I have several pilot projects in research going on right now, and that's supported by institutional funding, which is one of the main reasons that I felt comfortable joining our group, felt very supported from an institutional standpoint for my research. And then I also received a CureJM grant for some of my research too. I also do a lot of clinical work in JDM. And so we recently, as our division, have been nominated for a clinical care network from the CureJM Foundation for JDM and the clinical care that we can offer our patients. And I am the director of our clinical care network. And I'm also the CARA site PI here at Children's Wisconsin. And so I do a lot of clinical work for that. And then I also do a lot of mentorship for our fellows. Our fellows are not interested right now in basic science research, and that's okay. I mentor them in both a PROMISE project, looking at PROMISE measures in JDM, and a translational research study looking at transition for patients in moving on to adult care. The strengths of our program, I really have to echo Danielle Fair. When I joined, I just felt so supported by our group. Our group is very collaborative. We work together very well. If you have any clinical questions, we work as a team, and I feel very comfortable going to anybody in our group for help. We also have a lot of wide breadth of both clinical and research interests, and I feel like that allows for a lot of opportunities for support for our fellows for research. And then lastly, I feel that as a mom with young kids and work-life balance being very important to me, I've always felt very supported by our group, and that's very important to me. So I think all three of those things combined make our fellowship program and our division just a wonderful place to be.
Thanks, Sarah. Sarah and Danielle, I hope that someday, you'll be telling people interested in the program that you've been here for 28 years too.
I hope so.
I probably won't be continuing to tell people how many years I've been here at that point. But okay, we're going to move on to Dr. Verbsky. James.
Hello, my name is James Verbsky. I'm a professor of pediatrics here at the Medical College. I've been here almost 17 years, so I'm the third longest tenure. I came right out of fellowship in St. Louis. Let's see, what do? I have a little bit of a different role here. I do see children in rheumatology, and but I also do quite a bit of immune deficiency. I did training for immune deficiency in my fellowship. So I also work in the immune deficiency clinic and see consults for immune deficiencies. My other interest, I do research, and I'm interested in genetic defects of the immune system. So I do an awful lot of sequencing and interpreting variants and that kind of stuff. I like to model these in the lab and try to understand what they mean. I do some administrative stuff. I oversee the translational research unit here at MCW, and I also work as a liaison for the CTSI. So I have a few other things. I also run the clinical flow cytometry lab, which is a specialty lab that does about 30 very specialized tests for immune deficiencies and immune function from patients. So that's also a part of my time. I think what makes this place really special for fellowship training is just reflect what Jay said, is you can pretty much do whatever you want here. You can work on mice with Dr. Williams and do very basic immunology. You can study unique genetic defects with myself. You can do quality studies. You can do teaching. We have so many different expertise here, running the gamut of all the stuff you may do in your specialties. And I would say that one of the biggest things is Dr. Nocton is an outstanding fellowship director. I know that because I was fellowship director for about 2 years and I was terrible. So anyway, he's very good at keeping everyone trained and on top of things. And he's very fortunate we're very fortunate to have him. So that's what I have to say.
Thanks, James. I just followed your lead. You set the groundwork and I've just been carrying on. But thanks. So we'll move on to Dr. Williams. Cal?
Hi, hello, everybody. I'm Cal Williams. I'm the section chief, and I've been here for about 20 years and came from Washington University in St. Louis prior to that, which is how I knew James. I have a number of roles here at MCW besides being a rheumatologist and section chief. I'm the Chief Scientific Officer of the Children's Research Institute, which is, there are about 170 members of the Children's Research Institute in the pediatric research enterprise that span the spectrum from pediatric surgery and ophthalmology to the Department of Pediatrics. We have a children's owns a building. It's about 100,000 square feet of wet bench space. So it's a really robust and dynamic research environment and a nice place to pursue both basic science and translational research. As James mentioned, we have a unit in the hospital. It's a translational research unit in the hospital where we do patient-centered work and clinical trials. So we touch all the bases when it comes to your research opportunities here at Children's at MCW. My personal research interests are in regulatory T-cell biology, and I work closely with a collaborator at Talal Shatila at Boston Children's Hospital, and together we've developed a number of important mouse models that people use to interrogate regulatory T-cell biology and regulatory T-cell function. I think I'm going to say what James said. I think one of the best thing about our fellowship program is our fellowship director. Aside from the fact that we have a very diverse and interesting faculty doing many really interesting things, that creates lots of opportunity for fellows to participate in research across the spectrum, from doing quality projects, doing educational projects, to mouse biology in the laboratory. So anyways, Dr. Nocton does a phenomenal job of coordinating all of this and making sure that each fellow receives special attention and the care and opportunity that they need to start their early careers. So again, I couldn't be happier and more proud of our faculty and everything that they do. As you can see, it's a very diverse and interesting group, and we really enjoy working together as a team. So thanks.
Thanks, Cal. I'm going to suggest that maybe we do this every day. No, I appreciate all of you taking the time to do this. And for those of you who have watched this, I hope that it helps you to get to know us a little bit better and get to know our program a little bit better. Certainly don't hesitate to reach out to any of us if you have additional questions. And thanks for your interest in the program.